Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to today's session from Bhagavad Gita as it is. We have reached chapter 10 of Bhagavad Gita. It's been titled The Opulence of the Absolute. Pukam karoti vachalam pangum langaite girim yat kripatamam vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hariyam Tat Sat. And this chapter is also one of the treasures of Bhagavad Gita. The middle 6 chapters, chapters 7 to 12, they are considered as the treasure box of, jewel box of Bhagavad Gita, where Bhagwan describes all about himself. In the last chapter, chapter 10, Krishna gave us the most confidential knowledge, that is, how to perform the devotional service. And now, Krishna is telling us, and also he told us all about himself, and how he is prevalent everywhere in every living and non-living thing, and how we should perform the devotional service of Krishna. And now we'll continue with chapter 10. Begin the chapter 10. First verse. Bhuya eva mahabaho shrinu me param mam vachah yatteham priyamanaya vakshyami hitkamyaya. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Listen again, O mighty armed Arjun, because you are my dear friend. For your benefit I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than I have already explained." Verse 2. Na me viduh suraganaha prabhavam na maharshayah ahamadirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarvashah. Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages. Verse 3. Yo mam jamnadim chaveti lokamaheshwaram asammudah samartyeshu sarvapapaiha pramuchyate. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the Supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only, undeluded among men, is freed from all sins. Verses 4 and 5. Buddhir jnana sammoha kshama satyam dama shama sukham dukham bhavo bhavo bhayam cha bhayameva cha ahimsa samata tushtistapo danam yasho yashah bhavanti bhava bhutanam matta eva prithigvida. Intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame and infamy, all these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone. Verse 6. Maharshyah sapta purve chatvaro manavastatha madbhava manasa jata yesham loka ima praja. The 7 great sages, and before them the 4 other great sages, and the Manus, that is the progenitors of mankind, come from me, born from my mind, and all the living beings populating the various planets descend from them. Verse 7. Etam vibhutim yogam cha mama yo veti tatvatah so vikalpena yogena yujyate natra samshayah. One who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mine engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this there is no doubt. So in these first 7 verses, Krishna is telling us that no one knows that Krishna is the source of all which is there in the cosmic manifestation. So this chapter is describing the greatness of the Lord. It is telling us about the Vibhuti Yoga of the Lord. The Supreme Personality in the first verse of the Opulence of the Absolute, chapter 10, tells Arjun that because he is Krishna's friend, for his benefit, Krishna will tell him further the knowledge which Krishna has, the knowledge that is better than what Krishna has already explained to Arjun. So the confidential knowledge has been told in chapter 9, but Krishna is further telling him, instructing Arjun about more confidential knowledge of his opulences, of his Aishwarya and his work. In the 7th chapter, Krishna told us about the different energies and how they're acting, the spiritual, the material. And now in this chapter, Krishna is telling us about his opulences. And in the previous chapter, Krishna has told us that with the help of the firm faith in the devotional service, in the devotion of Krishna, our firm faith actually gets firm in the devotion of Krishna when we see all the energies of the Lord, his different energies. They were explained in the previous chapters, and in this chapter again Krishna is going to tell us more about his various energies and his manifestations. And the more we hear about the Lord, the more we become fixed in the devotional service, because we realize every time we read and hear that who is the Supreme and to whom we should be surrendering and offering our devotional service. So this is one way to increase our devotional service. In next verse, verse number 2, Krishna says that neither the hosts of the demigods nor the great sages know his opulences, the origin of his opulences, for in every respect, Lord is the source of the demigods and sages. So even the demigods, whatever you are actually offering them, they are actually getting the benedictions for you. They're going to fulfill your desires through Krishna himself. So who is the source? Source is the Lord. We shouldn't forget that. So in this verse, Krishna is telling us that who understand Krishna is eternal, is full of bliss knowledge, by studying Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, can understand that Krishna is the ruling power, and his energies are there in various forms, in the material form around us, and also we should always aim for the spiritual energy. So just by mental speculation, nobody can grasp the understanding about the Lord, his opulences, his qualities, his supreme position. We have to hear and understand from the scriptures. Then only we understand that Lord is a person. He's not just the impersonal form, and we have to offer him all the devotional service. We have to worship the Lord. In verse 3, Krishna tells us that Krishna is unborn, he is the beginningless, he is the supreme Lord of all the worlds, and only Krishna is free from all the sins. Rest of us, we have got a backlog of sins from our past lives, even in this life as well, because we are mortals and we make mistakes, so we can't say that we are sinless. Remember in chapter 7, 3rd verse, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye. Krishna was telling us that among millions and millions of men, only a few go for this spiritual realization, and they try to elevate themselves. They try to understand their position, that they are meant to serve the Lord. They're meant to worship the Lord. So Bhagwan is telling us that he is unborn. He is Aja. Aja means unborn. And he is beginningless. He is eternal. It always carries on. Just like our Atmas, who are part and parcel of Krishna, our Atmas are Aja as well. They are eternal. But our bodies, they are material, they are temporary. Just like this material world where we have to come and live, this is also temporary. And the spiritual energy is superior than the inferior material energy. Krishna is the proprietor of everything. He is Sarvalok Maheshwaram, Veti Loka Maheshwaram, Krishna says in this verse. And also everything gets created from him. And those who know him, those who understand him, they get free from all the sinful reactions through the devotional service. And there's no other way we can get rid of the sinful reactions or the sinful activities which we have done in the past lives or in this life. So Krishna is not a human being. Prabhupada is reminding us, only a fool will think of God like that. And some people question that if Krishna is known as a son of Devaki, then how can he be unborn? It is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada is reminding us that when he appeared before Devaki and Vasudev, he was not born as an ordinary child. He appeared in his original form with 4 hands. But later on, he transformed himself into an ordinary child on the request of Devaki. So we have to be doing our activities as anashrita karam phalam. We should not take shelter in the fruits of our activities. Then we are a true renouncer. A true renouncer doesn't mean that if you are only a sannyasi is a renouncer. A true renouncer, a true sannyasi is one who renounces the results of his activities unto Supreme Lord. That is a true renouncer, and who is working under the direction of the Lord. In verses 4 and 5, Bhagwan is saying that the intelligence, knowledge, freedom from the doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame and infamy, all these, the dualities of living beings, are created by the Lord Himself. So these have all been arranged by the Lord. They come to us as karmic reaction, because we have sowed some bad seeds in our past lives or whenever. So we have to deal with the results of them, those activities. So those activities come to us as duality, in the form of duality, as fear and fearlessness, happiness and distress, and so on. So all the qualities, Bhagavan says, that either good or bad, they have been created by me, Bhagavan is telling Arjun. So asammoha word has been used in the verse 4, which means that freedom from all doubt and delusion can be achieved when one is not hesitant and when one understands the transcendental philosophy or the transcendental nature of Bhagavan, the spiritual nature. And slowly one becomes free from all the doubts and bewilderment. And Prabhupada has given the explanations of the scriptures as in a very scientific manner. So chapter wise we are understanding. First it was all about we can say us, our doubts and all that. Through Arjun they were put to Krishna, and now in the middle chapters up to from 7 to 12, it's all about Krishna. Krishna is introducing us more thoroughly to himself. So nothing has to be accepted blindly, everything has to be accepted with care and caution. So we have to practice the tolerance, which is kshama, forgiveness, and we have to be tolerant. We have to excuse the small offenses of others. We have to practice the satyam. We have to practice truthfulness, means that we should be presenting the facts as they are for the benefit of others. The fact should not be misconstrued, and we should try to speak the truth, which is palatable to others. Prabhupada is telling us, so others can take it. But he's cautioning us at the same time, Prabhupada, that we should not be too much worried that just to make it very nice for others, we will distort the truth. We have to keep the truthfulness. And if it's not nice for others to hear, if it's not palatable for others, then we should refrain from it. We should not speak it. We have to control the senses, not just enjoy for your personal sukh or enjoyment. We should be offering everything to Lord first, remember, for the pleasure of Lord, and then enjoy the fruits of our labor. First we have to offer them to Lord and then enjoy them as prasad for ourselves. So we have to restrain ourselves from unnecessary thoughts as well. Now that is called shama. Shama is to control the mind, not to just let it go here and there. Keep it under your control with the help of your intelligence. Keep it in the service of the Lord. It's not very difficult when everything you consider is made by Krishna, is Krishna himself in everything, in every aspect of our life. Then we can think of Lord and just carry on with our duties. Bhava is to be understood to be referring to the body. And the soul, as we know, it's eternal, hasn't got a start or finish, which has been told to us from the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. So we shouldn't be in any kind of anxiety. We should be just doing our duties within the best of our abilities. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 2nd chapter, 37, it is stated, Bhayam dvitiya bhini veshatah syat. Fear is caused by our absorption of the illusory energy. When we understand that we are not material energy, we are part and parcel of the spiritual energy, then these kind of illusions, they don't affect us deeply. We get to the abhayam. Abhayam is fearlessness, and fearlessness will only come when we understand that our souls are part and parcel of the Lord. Then why we have to worry? Ahimsa is non-violence, meaning that we should not be giving misery to anyone else, or put anyone in any kind of confusion. So sharing the Krishna consciousness, sharing the Krishna Bhavanamrit with others is the non-violence. So we should be utilizing the full potential of our body and our mind and our intelligence in spreading the knowledge of Lord. Samatha is the equanimity. It refers to the freedom from attachment and aversion. We should not be too much attached or too much detached. So we should be just right. We should be nicely balanced. We should be living in equanimity, and we should, what is favorable for Krishna consciousness, we should be accepting it, and which is not favorable, we should be rejecting it. So this is called the samatha, or the equanimity. But best thing is, when you are in Krishna consciousness, you understand that Krishna's presence is in everything. What you do is you use everything in the service of the Lord. So there's no need to be worrying for the suitability and unsuitability of the things in your life. Tushti is satisfaction. Tushti means that one should not be gathering more than what is needed in one's life for the to carry out our duties and to live. So one should be satisfied what is coming to them with the help of Lord. That is called satisfaction. Tapas means austerity or penance. So it's like getting up early in the morning, having shower, having bath. In the months of winter, we know it is very hard, it's difficult to do, but we do that. So that is also a kind of austerity. It's a kind of tapasya. And sometimes you suffer because you know this has to be done. So that is penance. So all this has been explained beautifully in the purport by Srila Prabhupada. So certain fasting you have to do, that is also part of this tapas. And yes, we should give some charity, but we should be mindful where we are giving charity. Charity should be given where it is going to be used for good cause. You should be very mindful of it. You should not just give charity without thinking, because if the charity you have given is used in the mode of passion or mode of ignorance, it is going to, especially in the mode of ignorance, it is going to give us bad sinful reactions. So if you give some money to a beggar, for example, and he is going to, or she is going to use it for harmful substances, then it is not going to give us any good reaction. It's going to give us sinful reaction. Yashas, fame, is so you should actually be giving charity to the temple, to the sannyasis who are helping. You have seen that they're helping to propagate the Krishna consciousness, or the brahmanas who are living life nicely in expanding the Krishna consciousness to others, in explaining to the others. So you have to be mindful where your charity is going. The yashas, the fame, should be according to Lord Chaitanya, who said that a man is famous when he is known as a great devotee. So not just the fame of the material world is the only fame. You should aim to become a nice devotee of the Lord, and then that person is regarded as truly famous. This is according to Lord Chaitanya. So all these qualities, they will manifest throughout the universe, in the human society and in the society of the demigods. Prabhupada is telling us, and with these qualities, the person, they will help with themselves, and they will engage in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord, and they will also get in return good qualities as arranged by the Lord. So who has arranged all the good qualities, the qualities which we have explained? They've all come from Krishna. Krishna has created them. He is the origin of these qualities. So whatever we find good or bad is all the origin is in Krishna. We find the bad because somewhere someone in one of their lives, they desired those things. So just to let them live those kind of qualities, Krishna made them like that, and those qualities were given to them. So we should remember that everything is coming from Krishna. In verse 6, Bhagavan is saying that the 7 great sages, and before them the other 4 great sages, and the Manus. The Manus are the one who spread the population on this planet. They all come from me, born from my mind, and all the living beings populating the various planets, they descend from them. Supreme Lord is also known as Hiranyagarbha. And from Brahma, all the 7 great sages came, and before them 4 other great sages named Sanak, Sananda, Sanatan, and Sanat Kumar, and the Manus are manifested. So all these 25 great sages are known as the patriarchs of the living entities of the entire universe. There are innumerable universes and planets, and within each universe there is different kind of population and of different varieties, and all of them have been all those populations have actually come from these 25 patriarchs. Brahma has been through 1000 years penance for 1000 years of the demigods, not our 1000 years, but years of the demigods, their time scale, and he realized by Krishna's grace how to create. Krishna helped him, and from Brahma came the 4 Kumars, the Sanak, Sanatan, Sananda, and Sanat Kumar, and then the Rudra and the 7 sages. And then all the 4 Varnas were created, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, etc. And Brahma is known as the grandfather of all the energy has come from God, the Supreme God, and Brahma is the grandfather of all, and Krishna is known as the Prapitamaha, or the father of the grandfather. This is stated in the 11th chapter. We will read soon. Chapter 11, verse 39, Prabhupada tells us in the purport. And finally, the verse 7 tells us about the knowledge of Krishna will increase our attraction of Krishna. One who factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind, Krishna says to Arjuna, engages in unalloyed devotional service of this, there is no doubt. So the more we know about the knowledge of Krishna, the more we understand Krishna, the more we know Krishna, the more we will be attracted to Krishna. And then only we will be able to perform our devotional service. So this is very scientific. It's not just that we were forced to do. Krishna has explained to us everything nicely first. Then it's up to us to accept him and offer the devotional service to Lord. It's all given in the Bhagavad Gita. Like in this chapter, the opulence of the Absolute, Krishna is telling more and more about himself, his Aishwaryas, his Vibhutis, and he is the original forefather of all the forefathers. He's got many administrators to look after the job of this universe. Chief of them are Brahma, Shiva, and the four Kumaras. They're the patriarchs. They all are the patriarchs, and they look after the administration side of this universe. So when we accept Krishna with great conviction, great faith, without any doubts, any dilemmas, then we can engage ourselves in the devotional service, and by understanding this greatness, we will be able to fix our mind into the sincere, into the unalloyed service of Lord Krishna. So that's it. We have covered up to verses 7. Krishna has told us in these verses that he is the source of everything, and we'll continue from verse 8 onwards. So where the energy is coming from, the energetic is explaining to us that where the energy is coming from, who he is, and this is so beautiful to understand, and then we can apply it in the service of Lord. The knowledge about after understanding the Lord, we can apply ourselves in serving the Lord. Today is the first day of the Bhisham Panchak, and also day 26 of this Kartik month. So only a few more days left, and we can all offer lotus flower unto the feet of the Lord today. If we haven't got access to lotus flower, which most of us we don't have, we can always do it in a mansik way or on our mental platforms. So I wish you all a very happy fasting for Utthana Ekadashi. Those of you who are fasting today, chant nicely the names of Lord today and enjoy your day with your loved ones. Hare Krishna, Hari Om Tat Sat.